The Supreme Court is hearing arguments right now in a decision that will dictate TikTok's future here in the United States. Unless the court decides otherwise, TikTok has until January 19th, less than 10 days from now, to sell its U.S. assets. And Project Liberty, led by Frank McCourt, wants to buy TikTok. The group submitted a formal proposal to ByteDance on Thursday. Kevin O'Leary Ventures chairman, is a partner here in Project Liberty's bid to save TikTok, and he joins us now. Kevin, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. Great to see you.
Great to be here. Thank you.
So you delivered the proposal to ByteDance. What can you tell us about the details of that proposal and whether or not you've heard anything from them yet?
Well, we did this intentionally. We press released it on Monday of this week to make sure the justices knew that the company had an option to sell it without the algorithm. It was widely believed in the market that no bidders would emerge if the algorithm wasn't for sale. ByteDance has been clear that the supreme leader of China will not sell the algorithm. But we wanted to make it clear as they debate starting 10 minutes ago that we are a buyer. We've got a valid syndicate. We're prepared to put up as much as $20 billion. And we don't need the algorithm. We don't want the algorithm, obviously, because the order of Congress is forcing them to shut down because of the algorithm. It's Chinese spyware. Pretty well everybody knows that now. And it's not really an issue around free speech, because if they sell it, we'll keep it lit up, and we want to. And certainly for me, the majority of my companies, up to 60% of their digital spend each week is on TikTok. It's a very effective platform. And I want to make sure, as an advocate for American entrepreneurship, that we keep it lit up, which is why I got involved in this in the first place.
Kevin, 20 sounds low to me. How do you get to 20?
You don't know yet because you don't have the numbers. Everybody's just assuming revenues somewhere between 7 and 10 billion. I don't know how many of the existing U.S. institutional shareholders are going to roll into the new deal. That will not require cash. Obviously, it'll be more than 20 billion if they do require cash. We just don't know. If I were an existing shareholder right now, and I'm looking at the wall of two options. Remember, I'm a shareholder in ByteDance, and let's call ByteDance 10 to 15% of its value is inside of TikTok USA. And so if all of a sudden they just shut it off, because that's an option the supreme leader can do, you're erasing about $38 to $40 billion worth of value from me as a shareholder, just because the supreme leader had a bad hair day, just didn't want to play ball. Now, I think that's highly unlikely, that because the cost of capital to Chinese deals after that will skyrocket, because people don't trust that they're going to be treated fairly as shareholders. So they spin off that asset into the U.S., and then our syndicate buys it, and we operate it according to the order of Congress. Now, the timing is really complicated here, because we're talking as the justices are debating. Out of this debate in a few hours, we will find out the direction. If they turn back the case, in other words, they don't want to hear it, it goes back to the executive. That is Biden. Biden then looks to the market and says, is anybody willing to buy it? Should I give them a stay of execution of 90 days? And then he would say, yes, because I see that Project Liberty is willing to do it. McCord and O'Leary, they'll buy it. Then I'll give them 90 days to work it out. And then, remarkably, just a few days later, at 12:05, we're now operating under the administration of Trump, the new president. So we have to work with yet a new administrator on the deal. I've never been involved in a more complicated deal in my life, but it is a legacy opportunity, and I'm really excited about it, and so is Frank. And we have so many great plans for this platform. We're going to clean it up, make it better. And I think, they're stalled out 170 million users. Why don't we have 200 million? We can do that by just letting people feel safe. They can put it on their phone. Many people won't put it there because they know it's Chinese spyware.
Kevin, have you heard anything from ByteDance?
Well, you should make the assumption, I got to be very careful here. I'm not going to answer that question, but you should make the assumption that in order for them to know there was an offer, we found a way to get it to them. So the thing is, I know all the shareholders. So does Frank. We know who they are. We've known that for 2 years. I know them personally. So that's the answer.
Kevin, you also need President-elect Trump to get this done. And I know you've had a lot of conversations with him. You were recently spending some time with Trump. What have those conversations been like? And I guess how confident are you that you will be able to get this done under the Trump administration?
My first conversation with Trump was the night before the Senate hearing that passed this bipartisan bill to ban TikTok, that far ago. I have not stopped talking about it with him because I know we're going to have to work with him. There's no question about it. I was at Mar-a-Lago last weekend. I'll be there this weekend. This is a top agenda item for Frank and I. We pooled our resources together to put this on. We know we have to work with both administrations. This is a bipartisan effort. We don't care if you're running a business on TikTok, 1 to 3 million is the average. There's about 6 to 7 million small businesses generating reportedly up to 10 billion in revenue. We'll find out when we see the books in the data room. But many of them are Republicans, many of them are Democrats, but they're American entrepreneurs. They represent 62% of job creation. Businesses between 5 and 500 create 62% of the economy's jobs. So I care a lot about them. I don't care about the politics. So we really need to make sure that we are on side with regulators in the current administration, which is Biden till midday on the 20th of January, and then work with Trump. And we are. We're making sure that both sides know, and I'm in that narrative with him whenever I can be. You know, the amazing thing about Mar-a-Lago, somebody asked me this week, why aren't you booking your travel to Davos? And I said, I don't need to. Davos has moved to Mar-a-Lago. I can meet everybody I want in Mar-a-Lago. It is the new Davos. I met the Prime Minister of Italy was there when I was there. This place is the center of the universe if you want to get stuff done like a TikTok deal.